After 16 years of League, I finally got to play League Classic again, and it was nothing like I remembered. The champions are stranger, the builds are more broken, and half the things Modern League taught me no longer work. So was Old League genuinely better, or are we all blinded by nostalgia? And for my first game back, I picked Kassadin, one of the champions I remember being completely terrifying once he reaches the late game. In Modern League, everything is faster, cleaner, and much more controlled, but old Kassadin came from an era where balance often meant letting a champion become absolutely disgusting if the game lasted long enough. And almost immediately, Classic reminded me that I wasn't just playing an old map, I was playing against old champion designs too. I thought I had a free kill, committed completely, and then Twitch appeared out of stealth like he'd been waiting there for 10 minutes. No warning, no chance to react, just a very old-fashioned 2 versus 1. Why was that so obvious? As I kept playing League Classic, I got reintroduced to the most old school problem possible, mana. Modern League gives you far more ways to smooth out a champion's weaknesses. In Classic, every rift walk felt like a financial decision. Use it too aggressively and suddenly you had no escape, no pressure, and no ability to stay on the map. And the item system made that feeling even stronger. Builds weren't just about maximizing damage, they were often about fixing what your champion fundamentally couldn't do. On Kassadin, that meant deciding how much power I was willing to sacrifice just to keep casting spells. In this fight, it looked like we finally taken control. The fight started perfectly, the front line was collapsing, and I thought this was the point where Kassadin's scaling would take over. Then Twitch appeared. The game ended before Kassadin ever became the monster I came back to see, and honestly that felt strangely authentic. Old League had incredible late game fantasies, but sometimes you simply lost before the fantasy arrived. So for game 2, I picked a champion who didn't need 30 minutes to become horrifying. After spending an entire game waiting for Kassadin to become dangerous, Fiddlesticks felt like the complete opposite. I didn't need 30 minutes, 3 items or perfect scaling. I just needed one dark corner, one badly placed ward, and a few seconds where the enemy forgot I existed. Okay, you can go that way. Get an E off, get a drain off. Low key, the healing is nuts. Jungling in Classic felt much more deliberate than Modern League. Camps were slower, sustain was worse, and every point of health or mana mattered. Taking blue buff wasn't just part of my route, it was what allowed Fiddlesticks to function at all. His clear was built around standing still and draining one target at a time, so positioning the camps correctly and avoiding unnecessary damage actually mattered. One messy clear could delay your entire game. Modern junglers are expected to clear quickly, contest objectives, and influence every lane almost immediately. Classic jungle felt more fragile. Before I could scare anyone else, I had to make sure the jungle itself didn't kill me. This is my moment. This is my moment. No! Come on! Get the drain off! Yes! Vayne walked mid alone, so this looked like the perfect ambush. The problem was that Classic Fiddlesticks had absolutely no exit strategy. I could assassinate one carry from complete safety, but the moment the rest of their team appeared, I was trapped in the middle of my own ultimate. And that was becoming the pattern with old champions. They weren't designed to handle every situation. They had one extreme strength, one obvious weakness, and almost no middle ground. The difference this time was patience. Instead of forcing the first target I saw, I waited until bot lane had committed far enough that turret couldn't immediately turn on me, and Vayne was a free kill to take. Let's go. This final gank probably sums up my first experience with Classic better than anything else. I entered the brush thinking I'd found another perfect angle. Then the ward appeared, Yi arrived, and the entire play collapsed before it had even started. Kassadin and Fiddlesticks showed me two opposite versions of Classic. Kassadin demanded patience for a power spike that might never arrive. Fiddlesticks could become terrifying immediately, but only from the right angle and only for a few seconds. I did end up losing both games, but honestly, that made the comparison more useful. Classic champions weren't designed to be reliable in every situation. They had one extreme strength, one obvious weakness, and when either side took control, the game could become incredibly one-sided. So was Old League actually better? I don't think it was more balanced, more polished, or even more competitive, but it was stranger, less predictable, and every champion felt like it could create a moment you would still remember 16 years later. More League Classic videos coming soon. Guys, if you enjoyed the video, drop a like, subscribe, and thank you for watching.